to Children's Church Online. It's such a privilege to be coming and doing this throughout this time of lockdown. And I hope you are enjoying each and every episode. Please feel free to give me some feedback. If this is your first episode, please find the other episodes on the Beacon channel, which is on YouTube. And also you can find the links on the Beacon Blackburn Facebook page. And without further ado, we're going to get stuck in to this week's teaching. And welcome to the teaching section of this week's Children's Church Online. And we're on the last episode of this block of teaching, which has been all about a man called Paul. It's been all about talking about the good news of Jesus. And this guy, Paul, he was such an amazing guy. We can read so much about him in the New Testament. His journey, if you checked out last week's episode, he actually told us about how he became a Christian, so how he actually found out about Jesus. And the amazing thing, that actually he was a guy who was so far away from faith, he was so far away from knowing about God, but God met him right where he was and just changed his heart. And then he became not only a follower of Jesus, but he actually became somebody who took the good news out there to other people and told them his story and told them that they could indeed have the same experience as he did. So we're going to carry on with our story there. This is obviously a child-friendly version that we always have on our Children's Church Online. You can check out the book, the verse, the scripture. It's coming up on screen for you now. I would say please check this out. Parents and carers, please check this out with your children to get them used to actually reading the Bible. But here we go with today's teaching. Paul was going on a ship to Rome, a city far away. Soon the wind started to blow. A big storm started to rage. The other people on the ship were scared. They started to throw things overboard. But Paul said, "Don't worry. God is with us. He will save us." Soon the men spotted an island nearby. But the ship got stuck on the seabed. "Don't worry," said Paul. "God is with us. God will keep everyone safe." Some of the people on board could swim, so they jumped into the water and they swam to the island. Others could not swim, so they held on to pieces of floating wood and floated to the island. Everyone got safely to dry land. The people stayed on the island for 3 months. Then they got another ship to sail to Rome. It was still a long way to go, but this time there weren't any storms. They arrived in Rome safely. "You see," said Paul, "God is with us in the storms and in the calm weather." Paul stayed in Rome, telling people about God who was always with him, keeping him safe. I love this. I love the fact that Paul has experienced some of these storms of life himself, but he's actually placed in a storm with some people who are with him, and there's panic on there. There's panic on the ship. There's panic. They're panicking. They're throwing things overboard. They're thinking, "Oh gosh, we're going to sink. We're going to crash." And eventually the ship gets stuck on the seabed and they have to make their own way to the island. But Paul's message throughout this is to not worry. And I wonder who we would be if we were on that ship with Paul. I wonder whether we would actually be worrying about getting to the island, maybe worrying about stepping out and possibly not being able to swim. You know, in these times of pandemic, one thing that I have learned, and I'm sure that you have learned, is that it's been a time of worry. It has been a time of worry for a lot of people across the world. But we can take some truth from this story that in times of worry, God is with us in every situation. And God is still with us in this time of pandemic, when we see things around us, when we listen to the news and things that sometimes can upset us. God is always with us. He's with us when we're in a storm, and he's with us when it's calm outside. When the storms of life aren't affecting us, he is still with us. And so that's the message that I want you to take away with you today. And now we're going to pass it to our craft corner for a craft linked in with this teaching. Bye for now. Good afternoon and welcome to this week's Craft Corner. And again, we're doing an exciting craft which links in with our earlier teaching. So today you're going to need some pens, some pencils. If you've got card, A4 card, that would be great. You can also do this craft with paper if you don't have that. And some scissors, so assistance with younger children needed on this craft. So today's craft, we're going to be making a boat that represents the story that we heard earlier in the teaching. So what you're going to need to do is take a piece of A4 card or A4 paper and cut it in half. Now you've got your two halves of either your card or your paper, you're going to need to make a boat shape on one side. Now I'll show you mine. So this is my boat. You need to have a large section because this is going to be where your scripture is going to be hiding. So make sure that you have a larger section in the middle so you're able to fit a scripture on there later. With your leftover card, or if you've got another piece of card or paper that's a different colour, like me, I've cut a small square, and what you're going to need to do is fold a tab like so. Where you've folded it, as you can see on mine, it's folded. You're going to need to either glue or sellotape it to the top so that it opens up like a window, like so. So my craft is completed, and I've stuck my boat, I've decorated it obviously, I've stuck my boat on a spare piece of card that I found that was blue. You may be able to do that as well, or a spare piece of paper. And as the tab is there, if it opens like this, and it's got the scripture that we've been focusing on, which is going to come up on screen for you now, and it says this: "Call to me and I will answer you. I will tell you wonderful and marvellous things that you know nothing about." So that's the focus scripture that we've had throughout this teaching. And what a wonderful thing that God does that with us. Thank you for joining me today on this Craft Corner, and I'll see you again for our Christmas Craft Corner and Christmas edition of Children's Church Online next week. So until then, for now, bye bye.